Warning. The Dragon Between podcast may contain language and adult humor that is unsuitable for those 13 years and younger. Viewer discretion is advised. You're listening to the Dragon Between podcast, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign that takes place in the Eberron pulp fantasy setting created by Keith Baker. New episodes are recorded every other Sunday and released on the following week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for clips and future episodes. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates and news on the podcast. Thank you for listening, and now on with the show. When the characters last met, the group dealt with the remaining insect-like Umberhulk and found themselves under the stern eye of the Queen's concubine. After a brief interaction with Sasek and Queen Orala in the throne room, the party were all pardoned of any blame for the damage and were sent away from Fairhold of their own accord. The group then returned to the New Horizon after saying farewell to Kortari and continued on towards the Eldine Reaches, ferrying a few new passengers and Laethana's somewhat eccentric cousin, Esmer. After relaxing aboard the airship and going about their daily routines, the party enjoyed an uneventful evening, awaking the next day and assembling in the war room for breakfast, marveling at the arcane view screen that hovered in the middle of the table. Upon realizing how close she was to home, Auri was offered a slight detour to visit her old homestead. The party then took a short airskiff ride out to a clearing within the forest, bringing along the eccentric Volo and his silent companion. Auri observed that the property was intact, if a bit overgrown, except for an immaculate stone marker at the base of an old oak tree. Auri watched on as the mysterious Harlequin M seemed to take an interest in the homestead, locating and utilizing her aunt's old farming implements to clear overgrowth from the garden, and revealed to the group a series of starflower bushes growing in concentric circles. Pressed for time, the characters returned to the New Horizon and continued on their journey towards the Shadow Marches. Day turned to night, and the group settled in their private chambers. Several hours after midnight, Laethana awoke to a late-night visitor. When the ranger attempted to communicate with the individual, she suddenly found herself paralyzed as a mysterious voice whispered from the shadows.
What did it whisper?
Listen to last week's podcast and you'll find out.
Remind me.
How about no? In the many chambers upon the New Horizon, the crew of the airfaring vessel found themselves somewhat restless. And when sleep finally found them, one by one, the group found themselves experiencing very vivid and somewhat disturbing dreams. Zito. You see an armored warrior wielding a fiery warhammer against waves of strange vine-like creatures. Massive trees slither and stomp in the distance, heading forth and battering a small village and flattening houses. The warrior roars a challenge as the fiery weapon arcs downward onto the head of one of the vine-like creatures, emitting a brilliant flash of light. Ender. You see yourself standing calf-deep in a familiar marshland. The smell of a fetid swamp water and buzzing insects threaten to overwhelm your senses And as you glance around and attempt to get your bearings, a strange, discordant sound echoes across the marsh. An angry, mechanical drone announces the imminent arrival of some unnatural thing. The sound gets louder as you spin around just in time to block an attack from a warrior on what appears to be a horse-like construct. Your short sword brought up, blocking the warrior's katana as they attempt to bring a second hammer-like weapon down on your head. As you bring up your BS metal katana up to block the attack, the impact from the weapon suddenly shatters your main weapon. You watch on in horror and disbelief as the shattered blade tumbles end over end away from you and slips into the murky water. Auri, you stand on the edge of your old homestead, watering the starflower bushes. You glance down as the beautiful white flowers and realize that your watering can is not dispensing water. It seems to be dispensing blood. Your horrified look on your face frames your gentle features as the white petals become stained red, and the sky glows as if the forest is burning in the distance, and shadows and shapes on the outskirts of the clearing begin to emerge. Suddenly, the gold-tilled earth of your garden is disturbed in places as bipedal creatures begin to claw their way up from the depths. Strange, warforged, unlike you have ever seen before, rise up from the ground like corpses, their eyes glowing a shade of purple. Over the canopy of the distant forest, you see massive, warforged colossuses, stomping through the green, the sounds of old trees falling and impacting the ground. And a hand softly rests on your shoulder as you turn and look to see who it is. Eli, you stand alone upon the command deck of the New Horizon, gazing out over a mountain range in the distance. The sky is darkened with angry black clouds, and purple lightning arcs downward, striking a ravine beyond the series of jagged mountain range. A massive, dark shape begins to emerge and clamber out of the angry wound in the face of Eberron. And a familiar voice whispers to you from within your mind, "Son, it is time." Your face a mask of grim determination, and your heart heavy, you begin to press various levers and controls on the console in front of you, beginning a sequence of events as the vessel called the New Horizon begins humming with power, the vibrations beginning to become more violent in your legs, feeling it from the deck as you begin to prepare to ram the nightmarish creature in the distance. One by one, each of you are gripped by these strange dreams. In the silence and the darkness of Laethana Aisha's private chambers, Laethana, you now see this vision of a woman in a white dress, her form suddenly shattering as if made of glass, and revealing to you the individual that you have come to know as the Harlequin Mute, known as M, leering over you, leaning over, seeming to fill up your peripheral. All you see is this individual wearing this angry mask, this porcelain mask with an angry visage carved into it. A gnarled hand, gloved hand, reaches up and grabs the porcelain mask and begins to pull it away. The eye sockets glowing before doing so. The glow beginning to fade as from underneath the mask, the unknown and somewhat familiar features of a woman with pasty white skin, an extremely exaggerated dark makeup, potentially, under the eyes and around the eyes. A grim look on the face as you are gripped with this vice, as if a massive set of hands are reaching out and grabbing your form. And I would like you to roll initiative, Laethana.
Alright.
Hey! Let's roll initiative for the Harlequin. Hey! You're going first, Laethana. Let me share a map with you. I will share a map with all of you.
I think since I rolled a nat 20, I should go first.
Well, since I didn't ask you to roll for initiative, I'm not going to accept that initiative roll, sir.
I appreciate you telling me that, DM, but I'm going to overrule you
Okay.
and sit up here quietly and not use it.
All right. So, Laethana.
Laethana will pick up her new repeating shot long.
Unfortunately, Laethana, you are currently lying prone in your bed, paralyzed.
I'm paralyzed.
Would you like to attempt to save out of this paralysis?
Yes, I will attempt to save out of this paralysis.
Okay. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, wow. No. Great.
Unfortunately, that is a failure.
I attempt to break free and move, but I don't know. Instead, I feel like I pulled.
You fighting against this vice-like grip on you, Laethana, you feel helpless as you're unable to call out. And you hear a strange buzzing noise coming from outside of your door. It's like a metallic, mechanical clinking noise, as if something is on your door on the other side, on the outside, in the hallway beyond. There's sort of this clinking noise. And the individual looks down at you. You hear the sound of a sword being unsheathed. And says to you, "You have my respect for what you have done for my offspring. What you did for my offspring. I will grant you a clean death." And she will stab at you. And I believe that is an auto crit. You take 17 damage as the short sword comes up and with this ornate blade stabbing down into your abdomen. And she looks to you, her face, this pasty, this sort of a flaxen hair cascading around her brow. She takes the other hand now and she's pushing down into your abdomen. And she looks to you and she says, this should have been cleaner. I'm sorry, but it will hurt more. And you take 13 more damage as the blade is slowly being shoved further into your stomach. Has a look of not concern on this stranger's face now, but more a look of just quizzical. And you're no longer paralyzed, Laethana. I will take that off of you. However, you are currently frightened, so I will drop that effect onto you.
Not to mention covered in blood.
Not to mention, yes, bleeding profusely from your stomach. So we'll go ahead and say it is your turn again now to act, Laethana. What would you like to do? I'm assuming you didn't wear your armor to bed, correct?
No.
Yeah.
Does she have the blade still in her?
Oh yeah, it's in your stomach, and she's getting ready. She's slowly pulling it out, as if she's trying not to cause you too much pain. She's slowly trying to pull it out, and she keeps looking at the wound and then glancing up to you in the dark.
Well, I can't do a whole lot. She'll attempt to pick up her her bow and shoot.
Essentially, when it's your turn to act, she has now pulled the sword from your abdomen, and it looks like she's getting ready to stab at you again.
Okay. Well, she will, move over to the toilet.
Okay.
Because she's trying to get as far away from her as possible, because she's frightened.
Mm-hmm.
And, she will take aim at the Harlequin and...
Okay. As you break away from the Harlequin, you hear the whiff of her short sword as she once again attempts to slash you in your back as you scramble away from her, taking an opportunity attack on you. And unfortunately she hits. Although this time it's no longer an auto crit. And again, there's this sort of an exaltation, why isn't it working? As you scramble away from her, pulling out your weapon, aiming it back at her.
And she will unleash 3 arrows in quick succession back.
Okay.
She's just gonna be like, I didn't know! I didn't know!
That unfortunately is a miss. You are afraid of this creature. But your second attack is a critical hit. As you unleash your volley of arrows, only one of them manages to hit and sticks her in the throat. And she slowly reaches her hand up, and her fingers curl around it as she pulls it out with no reaction. And when your arrow impacts, you smell that familiar smell of star flowers begins to fill this chamber. That smell from the homestead, from each time that you've been around the star flowers, it smells sour almost, like decaying flowers. That was a double crit, Ender.
Okay, Laethana will use her bonus action and cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay. Would you like to do anything else?
She would call into her ring and say, "Help! The Harlequin is attacking me!" To all her.
Okay. Let's see let's see how deep of a sleep everyone is in. So let's get some perception checks from everyone. I'll roll for Gunthral. Darn. Gunthral rolled a 27, you guys.
But he has no ring.
Oh, crap. That's right. But he still rolled a 27. Because so he heard, I'll say that from within his chamber, he still heard you loud and clear echoing. It's a bit like muffled, but he heard you say, being attacked, Harlequin. And he clearly heard your voice. Eli is still caught within that dream.
I think Zelia hit the snooze button on the ring.
Doesn't he have like a something in his room? So let's see. Auri, Ender, Zito, you all hear the sound of your companion Laethana crying out into your rings, echoing out, discordant sound of her just freaked out, crying out. And you may all roll initiative. Ender, I'll keep your 21 if you like.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't gonna ask. I just...
Okay. I guess I should roll for Gunny, huh?
Crap.
Okay, Gunny rolled a 3. Yay! Ender, you awake to a strange sound. What was first your ring, the brilliant amber light flashing, illuminating the inside of your chamber, and the sound of a panicked sound of Laethana calling out, crying out. And now it's replaced by another sound. This angry, insect-like sound, this clicking and trilling noise coming from within your chamber. And as you turn and look, you can see a strange, mechanical centipede-like form, which is currently crawling up the side of your door. What would you like to do?
I'm killing the centipede.
Okay.
I'm reaching for my sword.
All right. As you begin to reach for your sword, these creatures... Actually, I suppose I should roll for the enemies, right? Okay, all right. These creatures, you can see its form is warbling and moving. Like it's not a solid thing. Like potentially it's made of many things. But it's dark. Within your chamber, you just make out gray shapes. This undulating mass. So, from wherever your gear is stored in your room, it will take your action to grab your weapon. And as part of your action, if your weapon is close to you, you can attack it. Whatever you're facing.
I sleep with my sword close to me.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to I'm going to attack the foe in my room. The center.
Okay.
There it is.
As you go to swing your weapon just before you impact, it suddenly shatters into many forms, small, tiny forms that are now flying in a formation almost, right in front of your door. And they all seem to suddenly angle themselves as if they're angling the front of themselves towards you as you bring your weapon to bear and slash forth. And you hit as you bring your sword down, cutting into it, hitting several of these creatures and dealing a heavy damage to it, many of them being shattered and ruined and scattering on the ground in front of your feet.
I'll attack him again.
That is another hit as you bring your weapon forth, slashing into the creatures, dealing more heavy damage. You seem to have almost destroyed almost all of them now.
Alright, end of my turn.
Okay. As you do so, the remaining creatures, almost in answer to your attack, fly out like darts towards you. And begin attempting to pierce her flesh. But you see as they streak forward towards you, you angle and twist your body to the side, and the pieces that are left of this swarm impact your pillow.
Not my pillow. No.
Aww. And Ari, did you want to see a picture of what that mushroom person looked like? I know you asked me last time. It looks like this.
Oh, I like that. That's so cool.
Sorry, I wanted to break up this horrible thing that's happening right now. Laethana. The woman now rushes you, drawing her other short sword out. They flash in the darkness as she lunges towards you. The first attack, slashing forth, stabbing you in your abdomen. And you fall to the ground. All of you hear the sound of Laethana crying out. Eli, would you like to make another perception check? This time with the advantage because this is really loud. Laethana lets out a death rattle.
You mean? Sorry, I had to walk a dog.
It was a relatively low DC, Eli. I'm so sorry. You hear the sound of Laethana's voice as she is in pain, suddenly cut short.
She just, you hear her yet at, I didn't know, I didn't, and then she just bleeds.
So, does Eli hear this?
You do.
Gods! Gods!
Somewhere on the ship, Laethana Aisha is taking more damage. Actually, that was 2 death saves. But no, it said it's 1. So okay.
Does Gunny hear this?
Gutty, you heard this, and you wake up. You look around. It's not. I rolled for you. You rolled, unfortunately, very low. You only rolled a 3 on your initiative.
Oh, okay.
Laethana, you take 2 death save fails. You'll be rolling a death save on your next turn. Zito, looking around in the shop, you glance over and you see a strange buzzing form, a swarm of tiny constructs which are currently buzzing around and making little figure eights in the air, seeming to block your double doors out of your chamber. And I will share this map with you since you are the only one on this map. And I will reveal the creatures to you on the map. There you go.
Alright, am I able to run through a swarm? I can't remember if I can or not.
Well, you can get past, technically you could get past the swarm. You could move through it.
I'll do that.
Okay. You will
I'll take the attack.
You'll take that opportunity attack. Let's see, which one is that? That's number 1. So as you begin to run through this buzzing, annoying mechanical creatures, Eli, did you roll initiative, by the way?
Oh, no, I didn't.
You should go ahead and do that, because you might go before Zito. That's an 11. Alright, so as you run through this mess of mechanical creatures, you feel like they're trying to bite into your flesh. What's your AC currently?
Without armor, it'd be 13.
13. They just miss you. They were trying to bite you, but they couldn't find purchase on your tough rawhide skin.
Alright, so when I'm past the expeditious retreat on myself,
Okay.
and I'm going to sprint up to Laethana's room.
Alright. Go ahead and move yourself on the map towards the stairs. Oh, I guess I should lock the tokens, huh?
So that's 30 feet, and
Okay.
then as a bonus action move, or when I cast a spell, I can move 30 more feet.
Okay. So it takes 10 feet of movement to get up the stairs from where you are.
Okay. Can you move my token to the next map?
Yes. I assume that you're there. There you go.
Yep, so that's 10 feet. And then I'll use my action to dash into Laethana's room.
Okay. As you emerge from the doorway, before you can even get to her room, there is something blocking your way.
It's not another swarm, is it?
It is another swarm.
Son of
Completely blocking your way into the room.
I guess I'll go through the next swarm.
Okay. As you pass through, these creatures begin trying to gnaw and crawl onto your flesh. And they attempt to bite into your body as you pass into this cloud of creatures. And they hit you. And you take 11 damage, unless you're casting something as a reaction.
No, we'll still hit.
Okay. And I need you to make a Constitution save.
D6.
Okay. You felt as these things impacted there are less bites and more needle pinpricks in multiple places across your body, and you start to feel heavier, and you feel as though you're about to pass out, and you steady yourself as you move forward into Laethana's room, you're blinking your eyes a few times, seeing the back of the Harlequin looming over the prone form of Laethana Aisha, bleeding out onto the lacquered wood floor. Is that the end of your turn?
That will be the end of my turn.
Okay. It is Auri's turn. Auri, you woke up looking around your room. You look in the direction, hearing the sound of Laethana screaming, yelling in your ear. And you look up towards your door and you see on the floor in the darkness the form of what appears to be a letter. Like it was just slipped underneath your door. And nothing blocking your way.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk over to the door and pick up.
Okay. As you look at it and gaze at it, there's a familiar raised wax seal in the shape of an acorn on it, sealing this pentagonal piece of parchment.
Okay. If I have enough, if I can open it and read it on the same turn, I will.
Okay. If you'd like to spend your turn reading it, go for it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Would you like to read it to the group, or would you like to keep it to yourself? I mean, honestly, this would be something that only you would know, so...
I'll keep it to myself for the time being.
Okay. I would say as your free reaction with free reaction with the or action with the environment, you are allowed to respond to what you read. If you like.
I think that reading that makes me a little confused, and I don't know what to say just yet. It's still just rush.
You still have the rest of your movement.
And I will walk out into the hallway and kind of just like look around and see if I can figure out what's going on.
Okay. As you head out into the hallway, you see what appear to be two angry swarms of metal bees floating in the hallway. One of them floating directly in front of the open door of Laethana's room. And you can see just beyond that swarm the diminutive form of Zito as he's trying to right himself. Several of these things are sort of zapping out and attempting to hit him repeatedly.
Well, what's going on? And that's it. That'll do the whole turn.
Okay. I believe, Eli, it's your turn.
Eli will yell, "Guards! Guards! Laethana's room, now!"
Okay, who are you yelling that to?
The guards outside my door.
And how are you yelling that?
Loudly.
Okay. So you hear the sound of, "Right away, sir," from beyond your double doors outside of your room as you are groggily pulling yourself up out of your bed.
And I will begin to cast a spell
Okay.
called Dimension Door.
Okay.
And I will put myself right outside Laethana's room.
Okay, well let me reveal your people on the map, and I will share this map with you, since you're the only one on that floor. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You said you were going to her room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Outside the door.
Outside the door, okay? So you teleport immediately into a swarm of metal bees, apparently. They're buzzing in your face. As soon as you emerge from the door, you're just like, they're in your face. And is that the end of your turn?
Yes it is.
Okay. Somewhere on the ship, Carter runs to the elevator, makes his way down. And let's see. There we go. So there's a buzzing noise from the open doors. Hour, you can hear more of those mechanical, weird bugs that are flying. Another one is flying up the stairway from the deck below, and looks like it's getting ready to rush into the hallway that you're currently occupying with Eli. And another one now flies up to you, Eli, from down the hall, occupying your space. And it now attempts to stab at you with these little pinpricks that you feel now attempting to stab into your flesh. It's annoying. It feels like, you know, you're out in the woods camping and bugs are biting you. But they miss. What is your AC right now? I believe you're not wearing armor, so your AC it would have missed you anyway.
Yeah, 14.
Okay. And then immediately in front of you to the other form now, the swarm of seekers now attempts to bite at Zito. These little monofilament things striking into your skin. Zito, does that hit?
That will hit.
That will hit?
I'm
okay.
gonna cast shield though.
You're gonna cast shield for that? Okay. So that would make your AC...
It'll be 18.
18, okay. So you can feel now that annoying sound of trilling and mechanical clicking as these things are attempting to crawl into your bedclothes and bite you again. Somewhere on the command deck, Vernon is now rushing down to join his companion somewhere on the deck above. And Gunthrow, you watch as this strange swarm of bugs is floating in front of your door. Just floating there. And it's your turn.
Outside, right?
You heard the sounds of Laethana Aisha screaming, and you can now hear the sounds of feet stomping on the lacquered wooden floor. So as you pass out through your... Sorry. As you pass through the Seekers, they attempt to bite into your unarmored form. What is your current AC without armor?
It's correct. It's 11.
It's 11? Alright. The Seekers attempt to bite into your skin. This horrible trilling noise filling your ears as it does so. But it rolls a natural 1. It does not hit you as you pass through these annoying mechanical bugs into the hallway. You can go ahead and move the rest of your movement. I'll just move you there. That's 15 feet. You see Auri groggily moving into the hall. May or may not be clutching a letter in her hand. And see beyond that, Eli is currently being swarmed by these mechanical bugs, which are buzzing and trilling and attacking.
I'll finish my movement there.
Okay.
Okay. I'll use the action as shift. It gives me 10 feet more movement.
Okay.
Can I step through Zito? Or push him out of the way? Or can I see Laethana from the doorway?
I would say that, yes, it gives you 10 foot more movement, but you wouldn't gain that movement until your next turn because you've already used your full movement before you hit it, correct? So it doesn't like stack movement on top of what movement you've already taken. You just gain that extra movement on your next turn as that new form. Are you going into your tiger form or your were-tiger form?
The were-tiger.
Were-tiger, okay.
It's the hybrid form, right?
Yes.
And I cannot see Laethana, correct?
Correct. Unfortunately, there's a wall between you and Laethana.
Alright, I shall end my turn.
see who's going next. Once everybody's logged back in, we'll get started again. Looks like those little bugs are gonna attempt to get you again, Zito. They're some jerks. I apologize. But they're gonna miss. Because you still have your shield up.
Yes.
And Gunthrow, it is your turn.
Very well. 5, 10, 15 to there.
Okay. So as you move into the room, stepping over the form of your kobold companion, you see the Harlequin, who is now has 2 short swords, one of which is currently pulling out of the prone form of Laethana.
Might be, I think Seeker 6 gets a reactionary attack.
Oh, you're right. Let me do that real quick. Let's see. That's a natural one.
Oh, okay.
They're not very
Consistent with
they're not very good at what they're doing. You know, they're tiny little bugs.
I'll look at the Harlequin and says, "You picked on the wrong group," and I'll point at Laethana and cast Healing.
Healing word.
It's bonus action. I can heal 1d4 plus my spellcasting ability to anyone I can see within the 60 feet.
Okay. Your line of sight is not blocked. You can clearly see the prone form of Laethana beyond. Laethana, your eyes snap wide awake, lying on the ground before the individual, and you can hear, as you begin to come back into consciousness, you hear the familiar sound of Gunthrow's voice. And that was your bonus action. You still have your main action.
I am going to grapple the Harlequin.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check against the Harlequin.
It's a strength athletics.
I don't know. What's a grapple?
Strength athletics.
Let's find out. It doesn't happen very often. Let's see. I believe it's just a strength versus strength, if I'm not mistaken.
It's strength versus strength or dex.
Yep, it's not an athletics check. It's just strength versus strength or dex.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's great.
Alright. She rolls a 17.
Beat my 6.
Yeah. She calls back to you as you attempt to grapple her. You are an impressive warrior, but this is none of your concern.
When it comes to my person,
And
everything.
she looks down to Laethana now and straightens. And she says, "I am finished." And drops her swords. And as she does so, all of the mechanical buzzing bugs suddenly fall to the ground all around you all like beads. And you're all out of combat.
I look at Laethana.
You see her lying on the ground before this individual.
I grab both of Harlequin's arms.
She does not seem to be giving you any resistance.
I bite out her throat.
Oh, you bite out her throat? Whoops. I would say everyone's at free action at this point. So as you go to bite out her throat, she accepts your attack. You roll your attack to her. It's an automatic crit. Whoops, I deleted her from the board. I'm so sorry. Let me put her back on the board.
Gunny ate her.
I was looking for some signal from Laethana, and she didn't say anything, so I'm just going to eat.
Is Laethana here? Hello, Laethana?
Yes, I'm here.
The
I tear out her
individual,
throat.
the individual
That's
stops attacking you.
Wait!
I'll just keep my mouth around her neck and not.
Yeah,
No, wait!
it's almost as if she's offering her throat to you. It's so strange.
Giggity?
And there's a rush of movement as Laethana's usually, comfortable quarters are now filled with individuals. And Auri, as you rush into the room and look to the individual who is menacing and attacking Laethana Aisha, you see a face that you have not seen since you were a child. You see the face of your mother, Mora. Pasty, sunken, dark makeup over sunken eyes, presenting her throat to the were-tiger form of your companion, Gunthril.
Gunny, please let her go.
I look at Laethana.
Do what she says. And Laethana's just kind of holding her stomach as she's still bleeding.
Yeah, Laethana looks really... her whole sleeping gown is completely coated in blood. Her clothes are ruined.
I remove my jaws from around her neck, but I still hold on to her wrist. Got her in a bent wrist lock transport.
Eli, you from behind you, Ender now is stomping past the bugs that have now fallen to the floor like beads. And yes, you are all out of you're at free action, so you may move your tokens around.
Can I have the map?
Yes, sir. Also, you're all hearing the sounds of footfalls as the blades are all descending upon the hallway now. Weapons drawn. Gertrude. You can see now the gentlemen from before that were outside of your room, Vernon and Carter, they're now rushing forth with Bertrand. And they're all some of them are holding like handfuls of these metal bugs in their hands.
Zito is gonna cram himself into what looks like the bath area and help Laethana tend to her wounds.
Okay. Yeah, at this point, your entire contingent of security have descended upon the scene. And Bertram steps forth and says, "Sir, are you all right? Is everyone all right?"
I think so. I'll just check around the ship, see if there's any other interesting creatures.
Right away. Vernon, Carter, check the ship. Vernon, get yourself patched up. And without a word, Gertrude begins walking down the hallway, banging on the doors of all the passenger cabins. And from down the hallway, Eli, you see a door open, just a crack, and a little mushroom man sticks its head out and peeks down the hallway, looking left and right. And then, like, as soon as it sees this collection of individuals cramming the hallway, it very quickly ducks back inside and closes the door.
At least the passengers are safe. Hopefully. Find. I'll look at one of the guards. Find Volo.
Volo comes from around the corner now, opening his door almost the same exact time that Esmer is opening the door and saying, "What's all this racket?" And both Volo and Esmer are out in their sleeping clothes in this hallway.
Volo, we need to speak to you.
Well, of course, Captain. I apologize. What's going on?
Your security attacked one of my friends.
Attacked? That's unusual. I don't believe that M would have any reason to do such a thing. Where is M?
In here.
I'll look at Ari and say, why should I let her live for attacking one of us?
Because she's her mother, Laethana said. And
Ari, you hear the sound of Laethana's voice as she seems shaking, looking to all of you. Her wounds beginning to mend. She seems to be coming back to, still coated in blood. Her sleeping gown is completely ruined.
And because I killed her many years ago, and Laethana has her eyes shut, and then she opens them and just looks up at everyone, sees that her
I don't understand.
That isn't how death works. Why is she here then? If she died by you?
From down the hall, you all hear the sound of footfalls as Esmer rushes towards the room and says, "Who the fuck attacked my cousin?" And she runs into the room and launches herself at M. Or at least attempts to.
Who's it? Oh no,
Esmer.
I'll attempt to stop her.
Okay. She puts on a show, but she seeing you in your furry form, her eyes kind of go wide a bit, and she says, "Are you all right?" Calling past you into the hall, into the room.
I don't let her pass me.
You don't let her pass you? She continues to try to talk over and around you, like poking her head this way and that way, trying to look around your large form in the doorway to see if she can see her cousin.
She's fine, and I'll take her away to my room.
You take her away to the room?
Yep.
She doesn't let you.
I'll bring her along.
Okay. In fact, as soon as you attempt to grab and drag her away, she pulls out the weirdest looking dagger you've ever seen. In fact, it's all not as if she pulls it. It's almost as if it manifests in her hand. It looks like it's made of steel, if steel was ice. And she holds it up to your throat and says, "Don't interrupt me."
She's fine. You just need to leave her be. She's got something going on.
I'll be alright, Esmer. It's alright.
I have a mind to speak to you later. And she turns around and stomps off away from this part of the ship.
If you will all let me get cleaned up for a moment. We all need to talk in the wardroom.
I'll shift back to human form.
Okay.
Don't want the guards, Vernon and Carter, to know what.
They saw you. They don't seem
Okay.
to pay you no never mind.
So everything's good.
There you go.
Don't worry, Gunny, they're loyal.
They're paid well.
Yes, they are.
I'll go in my room and close the door.
Okay. The rest of you are allowing Laethana to make herself decent.
Yeah, I'm gonna exit the room and go get dressed in my room.
Okay.
I'm also gonna do the same.
I'll exit out into the hallway, but I'm really confused, so I'm just gonna kind of stand there and wait.
Yeah, don't leave Mora in there.
Laethana, Mara is not looking at you as you get dressed. She's sort of slunk down to her knees in a kneeling position, and she's just ignoring you.
Actually, she will ask that they take her away while she gets ready.
Yeah, that's what
That's real awkward.
What, are we gonna let the assassin stay in the room when we leave again? Oh, it's okay.
It'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen?
I figured Ori would take her out and talk.
Should we lock her in the brig?
Do you even have a brig?
I have locked rooms down in the cargo hold.
Oh, that's true. You do have locked rooms.
Put her in an animal pen and put a chain around her neck.
So you're just gonna pick up some of those animal like beads so you can study them later.
Okay.
Eli will look at Ari.
Mara says, "If it would be all right, I would like to have some time alone with my daughter."
I'm the captain of the ship. You just try to kill one of my members, you will get no time alone.
I recognize you as captain. I merely ask to, if this be my end, have a brief moment with her.
I'll be okay, Eli. You can have a guard outside the door. I can protect myself.
I'll have guards outside the door. Bring the chains.
She holds out her wrists, waiting for you to clap irons on them.
I'll have the guards put chains on her.
Okay.
We'll be outside, and they'll look at Ari. And I shut the door.
Ari, you look as the somewhat familiar, but at the same time foreign looking individual standing before you, clapped in irons. And she looks at you and a slight smile curls and she says, "Your hair is long."
I still don't understand. Why did you not tell me when you saw me?
Vivian made me not. I wasn't allowed to talk to you. When Vivian brought me back to this creature you see before you now, she told me that I was forbidden to interfere with your life, that I was an unnatural thing, that I was brought back to do my business and let you live your life.
Brought back?
Yes.
What are
Vivian,
you?
I am a shell of what I once was. Vivian used an Arani ritual to bring me back. I am neither living nor dead. I cannot die. Not until I'm finished. I am finished with your friend, apparently. There was one other on board, but I do not feel the pull for some reason. When I'm around the other woman that looks like her, I believe she referred to herself as Esmer. It's funny, I already killed someone named Esmer. And she just sort of cast her eyes down at the floor now, unwilling to meet your gaze, realizing these horrific things that she's repeating to you now.
What did Laethana do to you? She's the one that killed you?
Her and her sisterhood. I'm sure she can explain it herself. You deserve that much. From the killer's own mouth, her own lips.
She's been lying to me this entire time, acting like she's my friend. What makes you think she would tell me anything?
It is not for me to say. For each of the individuals that I silenced from this realm, all acted as if they were surprised, shocked, when their time come.
You didn't even finish her off. She killed you.
She was dying. When she awoke, I no longer felt the pull, for some reason. That's very strange. I don't quite understand it. Vivian explained that I would understand and feel a pulling sensation in the direction of those that I would need to exact my vengeance, our family's vengeance upon. But I don't feel the same pull from her. I didn't when I went to end her. There is a soft knock on the door.
It's been a minute. You okay?
Yeah, Eli, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
After the sisterhood were ended, the one you call Laethana, Aisha, my final act was to find and hunt down one other. The architect of the Amastasia family's suffering. A man who calls himself Victoro Castellander.
I heard there's so many people out to end our family.
I imagine it has something to do with your bastard father. Galen is either dead or he's completely forgotten about us. Vivian swore that he was alive and said that it was your destiny to find him. I care not, for I am unliving, therefore I cannot love or be loved. I am not natural of this world. I will end when my purpose is fulfilled. I am sorry, but I cannot be what you are looking for, not in this form. Ariana. And she begins to raise a hand up, manacled, to try and brush aside a lock of your hair.
Oh, I'll allow her to. Yeah.
I imagine your friend is ready to confess her sins. We should not keep them waiting.
Alright. I'll see if I can find out more, I guess.
I will stay here. I will not interfere. I have an effect on those I had the pull with. I wouldn't want to sully her confession.
Alright. I'll come back. And I'll walk out.
Okay. One by one, you all make your way to the war room, assembling around the long table which is divided by that view screen.
I'm gonna sit as far from Laethana as I can.
Eli, the guards let you know after you gave the order. They let you know after a few minutes that it's been done.
Thank you. Keep her there for after this discussion. We'll find out what we're gonna do with her.
You're all seated around the table now. Silence deafening. The gentle sway of the ship as it continues to hurtle over the Eldine reaches in the darkness towards the city of Delathorn. You can all see now that this three-dimensional construction, this image within the view screen of the landscape below, you see that the New Horizon is skating along the edge of the lake.
And Laethana, I guess, sits at in the center of the table for now and just looks down at her hands. Well, you have all been family to me, and she just looks up at everyone except she can't make eye contact with Ari, even though she tries. And I said this, you are my family ever since my family seems to have disappeared, which I guess this starts to make sense now. Where they went, why they're dead. But you deserve to know the truth, I guess. No, not I guess. You deserve to know the truth. A couple nights ago, I had a nightmare where my sisters and I lined up next to a village, and we shot tens of villagers. And one little girl and her mother and her father, we were specifically told to tie them up and then to shoot them. And we did. She looks back down at her hands again. The little girl escaped. And I chased after her. We were told we must get her as well. Weren't told why, just we had to. And I found her. She was the same age as me, and she looks up at Ari again one more time and then immediately breaks her gaze. I was only maybe 14? 15? And this little girl, I couldn't bring myself to kill her. I mean, she was Ari, so who could ever kill Ari? And so I hid her in a tree. And then I woke up. And somehow, I cannot remember this ever happening or me ever doing this. This breaks the Aisha code, the sisters, the Arca sisters that I came from. We have, yes, we're assassins, but we have a strict code, 5 different things. Never to kill bystanders, never kill civilians for no reason. We take out people that are being unfair or that have murdered people or have, we always have some sort of evidence. It's not a court system, but we have a code. And this thing that I seem to have remembered breaks every code that we ever had. And yet somehow I knew that we did this, but I never remember doing this before. And I have no idea why. Why do I have no memory of doing this except obviously it happened. Look, I've never pretended to be a good person. From up front, I always told you I was an assassin. I killed people for a living. That's what I do, but that's part of what made us different. We had a code. We were a sisterhood. We always told the truth. We had no secrets between us, and yet I don't think that anyone out of my sisters, Esmer, or anyone could remember such a thing. We'd never talked about this before. And I guess you have no reason to believe me. I would love... I mean, that's one of the things we used to do as sisters. If we had something against each other, we'd cast zone of truth and we'd confess. So, that's the much that I know. And that's all that I know. And then she just kind of looks up at everyone and then looks back down at her hands.
I believe you when you say you don't remember. I don't remember you either.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. It's a somewhat foreign voice, as standing in the doorway behind you all, you see the familiar sign of, or the familiar form of Esmer, no longer wearing her gown, her nightgown. She's now wearing her traveling clothes.
Esmer, do you remember doing this?
Esmer looks at you and says, "Are you finished?"
I am.
I must apologize to you all. I haven't been 100% honest with any of you either. Especially you, Laethana Aisha. My name is Lila Anter. I was sister to Tamir. And as though I look like Esmer, I am not Esmer.
As soon as she says sister to Tamir, Laethana stands up. And her face goes like ashen.
Oh, you remember him. He remembered you. He was taken from us, Laethana. And for quite some time now, I have been hunting for his murderer. Eli, you want to cast the spell? If you want to, you gotta you gotta say something, sir.
Yeah. I didn't want to. I want to cast a spell right now.
Go for it.
Like, what should I? Polymorph.
What are you polymorphing?
Who pretends to be the sister,
Oh,
the cousin, or the cousin.
you want the cousin, Esmer? You want to polymorph her? Okay.
Yeah, into a
Is it
turtle.
like? Is it a saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the save?
DC Wisdom 15.
DC Wisdom 15. Okay. I think she's gonna be a turtle, you guys. Yeah, she's a turtle. And as soon as that happens, Eli, there is, as you all turn and look in the direction of the turtle's eyes begin to glow an ethereal blue, casting and illuminating the lacquered wood in front of it. And this strange being begins to coalesce and manifest before all of you.
Dang it, I knew it!
It looks like a tangle of threads woven together into a form that stretches up to the shape of a sort of an elongated shape with many little vestigial arms. And at the front of what you would consider to be possibly the head has this brilliant blue energy that pulses. And I will share a picture of you for you, what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Dang.
And
What is it?
You can all hear now its voice in Common, in Elvish, in Goliath, in Giant, in Kobold, and in Orc. All at once in your minds, this cacophony of languages saying, I apologize for my ruse. Are you done, sir?
You talking to me?
The being just sort of undulates like a giant blue pickle and bends towards you. It almost seems like it's coming out of the turtle's butt. Like it's emitting from the body, like it's half in, half out of its body.
How do I know you're not going to attack us?
If I wanted to, I would have already done so.
Fine.
You turning the turtle back? Okay.
Yeah.
The turtle suddenly bloop, and the form of Esmer is on all fours, like in the same position that the turtle was in. And you watch as as Ari says, the fun noodle just sort of back into the body. And the individual referring to itself as Lila straightens itself up, brushing its clothing, and says, well, that was unpleasant. Are you ready to talk? Or do you wish to turn me into a squirrel now?
I thought about it. But continue.
I had suspected the Aisha family was somehow involved, but I found no proof. I've been hunting for answers for my wayward uncle, Casil Anter. One that apparently is now calling himself Victoro Castellanter. Casil Anter is an inspired from Rirdra, one of the rulers of distant Sarlona. And though I'm sure you have at one time or another have heard of the inspired, and what they do and what they are. Benevolent. Many of them are, yes. My father, my kind-hearted brother. But some of them have a foul agenda. The inspired are the mortal hosts of the nightmare spirits of Dalcor. That foul agenda is referred to as the Dreaming Dark. I am hunting for answers. I am hunting for my uncle. Our paths have converged. I have been unable to find him. Perhaps with this undead wretch which you have below, you may very well have in your possession that what I need. Therefore, I propose the following. You will give me the one that calls herself Moira, and I will hunt down and find answers from my uncle. I will find out why my uncle has done apparently what he has done, according to you all here now. Your confession, Miss Aisha. You said that my uncle, in that form, was there. You had mentioned it before. I asked you about the dreams. That is how we control people, through their dreams. My uncle was gifted, was able to weave his very will into fabric, a head cover. Believe you described it.
I do remember seeing him out of the corner of my eye, I guess. Hey, Gunny, can you get me the strongest alcohol you have? They have on the ship, in the kitchen, please.
There will be no more drinking, Laethana.
As you request, Laethana.
And the individual referring to itself as Lila in the body of Esmer holds a hand up to you, Gunthral, if you attempt to leave the room.
Yeah, I attempt to leave the room.
And she lets you go. And
Gunny,
she just sort of looks towards you, Laethana, disdainfully.
And while you're at it, get drinks for everyone.
Gunny, you don't have to go. We can call someone to bring it to us.
Actually, no. Don't we have goblets here? That
Oh,
I
right.
pick up my goblet and I will there into existence.
I just thought she
mead,
wanted me to
and
leave the room.
And I hand it to Laethana.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, Gunny, you can come back. There's lots of drinks here.
Well, I knew that. I just thought you didn't want me here.
No, you can come back.
As you pass back into the room, she reaches out and grabs your arm, Gunthral, and you get a flash in your mind of something. You see an airship with crimson ether sails and 2 elemental rings that's traveling through a violent thunderstorm. And flashes of lightning reveal a fleet of smaller craft that are following the main vessel like pilot fish. You see a mighty Goliath wearing a necklace of fresh skulls standing upon the main deck, directing its brethren and crew. And the airships all pass harmlessly through an undulating corridor in this thunderstorm, this swirling mass that seems to resemble a serpent. And a wicked grin spreads across the face of the Goliath as the lightning illuminates its unsuspecting sky vessel in the distance.
And the smile on my face matches that right now.
And Lila looks at you and says, "This was almost your fate."
Oh, I'm kind of sad now.
You recognize the Goliath. In fact, you recognize the ship. It was the ship that you served on after you gained your freedom.
Oh, I shake my head out. Good vision. Good vision. And I'll sit back down and summon me some drink and start drinking. I think I'll join you, Laethana.
Lila now says, "Well, I have laid it all out for you all. I will leave you all to discuss this, if none of you have any questions for me."
I stop everyone. I look over at Gunny. And I ask
Yeah, I know.
him,
I know.
Okay. I don't even ask him then. I put my.
He starts
I go back to my drink.
Yeah, get over. Drink up. That's why I'm drinking.
And when she leaves the room, Laethana will just sink back into her chair. Well, now that she's had a drink or two, truly, may all my sins be remembered today. Oh.
Hopefully not all your sins. We have a short day.
Ender, you wake up in your bed and Gunthral is on top of you.
I'd like to wake up again. What about second wake ups? Third wake ups?
You blink your eyes and you're staring into the frothy drink that is formed in your goblet, still sitting around the table.
So,
Yeah, I guess I'll wake up next to Gunny then. If that's the reality, I'll choose that one. Let's go, Gunny. No, just kidding.
Man, I've been waiting for that for a while. Ender. I knew you'd come around.
well, this is just a joke. Well, I guess it's time for sharing more story time. She's still drinking as she's talking. So, since we're talking all about my life already, yeah. So, that girl is my husband's sister.
Who?
You're.
What?
My husband, Tamir.
Wait, what?
I'm confused.
I've been nothing but confused since the moment I woke up this morning. Are we all dreaming? Are we all just having...
No, I don't think this is a dream. I wouldn't feel this terrible if it was a dream. Yes, that is... Is Lila? Right?
Yes, Lila. Lila, enter.
Lila entered is the sister of my husband, Tamir entered.
You're married?
Yes. Apparently.
Laethana, is there anything about your life that's not a secret?
That's a great question, Artie. A couple more nights ago, I had another dream. I was back at the Aisha mansion. I was practicing with my cousin Esmeralda. We were shooting arrows. I was not but 13 or 14. And a boy named Tamir. That's where we met. And she pauses for a second. Except I didn't remember that we were married, or that I even knew him until a couple of days ago. And she looks down at the necklace around her neck. It is a gold necklace with 3 emeralds on it. One is larger than the... This was my wedding necklace. And yet, just like that other dream, where I don't remember it happening at all, I feel that the exact same way about Tamir. I did not remember who he was. I had known him apparently for over 6 or 7 years. It all came back to me after the dream, but I didn't remember at all until right before we landed and met with that queen. So Ari, you were probably right. My whole life is a mystery, but not only to you, but to me. How could I not remember someone that I had known for 7 years? How is that even? And she takes another really big drink.
And
As do we all.
do you remember what happened to Tamir?
Well, I have his urn in my bedroom.
What?
Esmer gave it to me when she visited. And that is all that I...
So you don't know how he died?
No, I have no idea. But the biggest thing, I don't know why I don't remember any of this stuff. Until I started dreaming about it a couple of days.
Was your husband also a... I'm gonna look at Lila and give her a face like, no offense, but
Well, Lila's actually
blue
left the
electric-
room.
Oh, okay, perfect.
The electric pool noodle that's riding around in Laethana's cousin's body has left the room.
Was your husband also a electric slug thing?
He wasn't inspired, yes, but I never saw him like that. Although I guess he did talk about it. I don't know, it's all so fuzzy to me. I do know that the first time that we met, he talked to me telepathically. He never actually spoke to me, which was, I thought was, hot at the time because I was 14. But, really, that is all that I know. And I have as many questions as all of you do. She takes another big drink and just slumps back in her...
I guess you bring up a really good point. We all have the same questions as you do. Who knows the answers?
Wait, there is one more thing too. And it's related to that Ender. That question. She pulls off her necklace again and puts it in the center of the table. And you see, like I said, one big emerald in the middle, and then two small emeralds on the.
I look up at her. Are those children?
Yes.
All right, now Ender finishes his drink.
It immediately refills.
It's going like I'm chugging. I'm doing a keg stand from my chair.
After a while, your belly fills, it becomes uncomfortable, and it's sloshing now down onto your outfit, drenching your outfit, splashing onto the table.
There. That's the amount I wanted.
And with that, Laethana also takes another huge drink, similar, and it just says, "So now you know my all that I know about my life and my life story and my sad."
I guess all those other questions aren't as important as this last one. Where are they?
Well, the funny thing is, out of all of these things, I know exactly where they are. This is something I don't know. I got a letter from my cousin, Castor. He used to go by Nash. Well, he fled the Aisha mansion a long time ago, but that's a long story. But I got a letter from him almost, I don't know, it was many months ago, right before I met all of you, saying to visit him at the Castellantal mansion, or the Castellantal estate, and that he had my children. And I still have
But
not
now
seen
that
him.
but now that you're abandoned by your family, or is it you were ousted by your family, weren't you? Can you go back there?
That's not really the problem. The problem is that everyone is dead.
So you have a family of these worm things?
No. They are the Anters. We are the Aisha. We have our own special side of things. But we are not.
You mean you don't have a blue wiggly worm thing that comes out of your butt?
Yes. I mean, we have these things, and she points up to her head, where she has her half-shaved head. There's a tattoo of this, like, scar, like, dragon mark. We have this. But not like anything like that. In fact,
As you all stare at Laethana's head, you notice that the mark that's on her head has grown.
Is it growing on like little blue tendrils or something?
No, it's almost as if the tattoo has somehow spread, like as if Laethana may have added onto it.
This is so confusing.
Yeah, dude. This whole episode is some serious M. Night Shyamalan shit.
So back to your question, Ender. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I thought it was M. Night Shyamalan type shit, like, just before the kids. The kids just complicates the whole thing. And you have a cousin named Castor who has them, but they're all dead. Did I understand that incorrectly?
No, they're not dead. At least it doesn't seem that way.
But your family? I don't understand. Who's dead?
How
in
did
your
you get the eggs around your neck? Or your emeralds or whatever?
There's two small emeralds, and then there's one large emerald in the middle.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take notes or something.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. You're right. also get a TLDR version of this. But Laethana, we have to go get your children.
We do, but
The little emerald.
Yes, the little
First-
emeralds.
first and foremost, we have to decide. This Lila wants to take Amara and do I don't know what with her, but she's Ari's mum. I mean, I know she tried to kill me, but if someone killed me many years ago, I wouldn't be surprised that I would try to kill them back. I'm just saying, I understand where she's coming from.
I'd have more things on my mind if they killed me and I was dead. Or I wouldn't have anything on my mind. I don't know.
Yeah,
give me an order.
Justice is an absolute truth. I'm not afraid, though, to admit that I don't have the information to make that decision, to end her life, to grant her freedom. At this point, I'm too confused.
I was gonna make her walk the plank. I mean, murder is usually the law. I mean, right? We don't kill each other on board the New Horizon, right? I mean,
I will say as much as anyone, it's a lot more complicated than that. I mean, I kind of kill people for a living, so...
So what do you think,
Well, I
Laethana?
did.
Should we let Moira go?
Well, I think she may actually, believe it or not, have a common mission. She was trying to find someone. The person in charge of all this.
How will we know, though, that this won't all happen again? That we'll wake up in the middle of the night and you'll actually be finished this time?
I don't.
Then I look over at Ari, and I say, well, we can't very well just kill her mother again, can we?
Oh, she was already dead, technically. Is she already dead?
I don't think she's actually alive.
She's not alive or dead. I don't really understand it either.
She's undead.
Artie, did she
Would I
say-
know? Would Zito know exactly what she is?
Make a history check.
Be an 18.
So, Zito, you have heard in passing of a practice of various types of magic. It was prevalent in Alranal that individuals would be potentially preserved beyond death or brought back, so to speak. And you remember, they would essentially create what was essentially their own version of an undead called an undying. However, there were other rituals rumored that were used for short term. The undying were more things that were meant to be moved beyond the veil, continue on in the mortal realm. But a short term, you would know that to be something that is whispered as a revenant, which is an individual who met typically a horrible end, a violent end, and through magic were brought back as an undead that retained its identity, and that they would be consumed with this purpose, the sole purpose of finding and exacting vengeance upon that which caused this horrible fate to them in life. So you get the suspicion that this may very well be what has happened to Auri's mother.
Yes, so like I believe Ari's mother has become what is known as a revenant. There's no stopping a revenant. She will always go after what she was created to destroy.
She said that there's one more.
She did. Who?
She didn't say. But she said there's one more.
Perhaps we should go ask her.
Can you have your guards bring her in?
I'll pull up my sending stone and I'll send a message to the guards. Bring her up here to the war room. The prisoner.
You get an almost immediate response, and a couple minutes go by, and the double doors leading into the war room open up, and you see now the blades, the Deneth blades, lead the individual known as Moira into the chamber, who has now been stripped of her weapons and her armor. She's just down to the very simple, colorful outfit that she wears underneath the armor.
Well, ask your questions.
Mara. First I will say I am so sorry for what me and my sisters may have done, or did do.
Oh, it's all right. They paid for it.
Who? Who paid for it?
They all did. You saw. You saw the starflower bushes back at Vivian's homestead. I planted a bush for each one of them as I killed them. They grow like weeds.
I see.
And she just sort of coldly, like, not looking at you, just staring straight ahead, straightens the sleeve on one of her arms.
And Ari told us that there's one more that before you can pass on. Who is that last person?
Well, that would be the one that directed them to do the horrible things they did to my family and I. You remember, don't you, Aisha? The sound of his voice scratching at the back of your head as he told each of you to fire. You all, like marionette puppets in unison, drawing your bowstrings and letting loose into my neighbors' bodies, felling them one by one. And then once again, attempting to snuff out not only I, but Ariana. And she turns and regards Ari at the end of the table. You remember, don't you? Say his name.
Enter.
Say his full name.
I don't know. I just remembered the V. His name started with a V.
Victoro Castellanter. Lord Castellanter. A noble. A fool. His claws reaching out into everything, like rotten roots stretching out underneath the house, slowly growing out, creating fetid soil. That foul creature. That fake. He will be mine. I will end him. Even if it's the end of me. As well, it most likely will be. There is your answer. I am going to find him and end him, no matter what, and no one will stand in my way. Not any of you. None of you. And she tilts her head down now, staring at the floor in front of her, shifting her arms about, still manacled.
Yeah, I vote the plank.
Can't just do that to her.
Wait. Can she at least speak with Lila? Maybe they have common ground here. Maybe they agree.
Laethana has her hands kind of pressed together up to her mouth, and she looks at Ari and says, well, they are both indeed searching for the same person. Except one wants to find them and the other wants to kill them, so I don't know how much common ground we're going to find there. But I would actually be very curious, because if I was not able to control my actions and all of my sisters, I have been wondering for the past couple of weeks why, how. Maybe this explains things.
I know how. Moira says, almost like a whisper, head still down, eyes cast to the ground.
How?
His gifts, his powers, the artifacts, extensions of his will. He gave them to you all. My husband made them.
What?
Galen made them. Galen designed all of the Aisha weapons. Don't you remember, child? Don't you remember playing in the garden with Ariana? You grew up together.
Why don't we remember that?
Because of his power. Stripped it, all of those memories away from all of you. As if someone gutting a fish. If you want those memories back, you'll have to claim them. You'll have to kill him. As I intend to do so. There's your 7-layer dip. M. Night Shyamalan trip ender. And Lila just sort of slinks on into from the outer hallway into the chamber and says, well, have you decided yet? Can I have this one?
What exactly do you mean to do with her?
Oh, use her like any other tool. A divining rod. A bloodhound. She's quite good. She found this one and killed her. And she now gestures towards the body of Esmer that Lila is inhabiting. I fixed it, of course. Apparently, if you bring one back that's been snuffed out by one, such as her, it breaks whatever curse there was. That pull or draw, if you will. Apparently not. It wasn't as strong as she'd had hoped. I assume it has something to do with the fact that your actions were more than likely not your own. But we're getting close to my drop-off point, so if you have an answer for me, let's hear it.
And what do you mean to do with him?
I want to grab the bastard and ask him what happened to my brother. Why is my brother dead? Why did I have to come all the way from Riadra to claim his body? Why was his body cremated and shoved into a dusty box inside of an old dilapidated mansion? Where is my niece and nephew? Can you tell me that? Esma didn't know. I've searched her memories and she doesn't know.
So you know about them too.
Of course. His power doesn't affect our kind. Only it affects the weaker, more squishier kind. Such as yourselves. Or perhaps a Kalashtar. Like that one that's hiding at the palace back in Fairhold, I believe.
Koratari?
Yes, that one. She is immune to his gifts. And mine. But we've wasted enough breath. It's a simple request. If it's a no, fine. Let me off at your next destination. I promise that I will return this body when I'm done with it. You can have your family back.
Laethana looks over at the group.
But if you let me have her, I might be able to find this bastard. He may be family, but he has a lot to answer for. And I get the feeling that all of you seem, in one way or another, to be tied to this tragedy. Or at the very least, a handful of you. I imagine that you would all benefit from hunting down my uncle. Or am I wrong? Am I wasting my breath?
I mean, I'm pretty neutral here.
Oh, I know you are, honey. You have your own demons to deal with up in your command deck later on this evening. Good luck with that.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, you'll find out.
Oh, you can't just say that and
Sure I can.
not tell me.
I mean, you could still invite me up to your cabin for a roll in the hay if you like.
Gunny! Hey, buddy! I think Gunny's... Gunny's available.
I've already tasted Were Tiger, thank you. But a Stormbreaker?
There you go.
I haven't had a dragon marked in a while.
Yeah, I'm not into the whole, dead kind of thing.
Oh, you won't be dead, silly. I'm just going to
Oh.
inhabit your dreams.
For the rest of your life.
No, it's temporary. Did you-
Yeah, I'm good.
I do apologize. A side effect of being around me, you may have all had some very vivid dreams recently. I apologize for that. Or are they visions? Sometimes the line is blurred. But I do say that you'll have some interesting things coming very soon, in the not too distant future. 70-30. I'm usually right. Now, and she claps her hands together. About this undead whore.
You call her that?
Oh, I'm sorry. The corpse that doesn't breathe. The one that's caused all this trouble this evening.
Well,
And
Ari,
Mara continues to stare at the floor, eyes cast down. And she whispers something under her breath. Whoever is closest to her would hear, "I killed your body once, bitch. I'll do it again."
well, Ari, it's I'm the captain of the ship, so I'll make the final decision. But Ari, I'd like to hear what's from you.
She may not be considered living, but she's still a person. I think she should be able to choose for herself. I'm not choosing for her.
And Mora's head lifts up a bit as she casts her eyes in your direction, Ari. I think it should be your decision, Ari. Yours and Laethana's. Since you two are directly tied to this evening, if it is agreeable to your companions. I care not either way. If traveling with this one, this thing, allows me to get to him faster, then there's my vote, I guess you would say, for what is worth.
Well, I guess you do seem to have more in common than I thought, so if this is what you need to do, I would like answers. And Lila, I hope you can find out what happened to Tamir. I did love him, you know.
I know you did. I know that you wouldn't intentionally abandon your husband and your 2 children and go gallivanting across Corvair.
Ari?
If you guys think it's best, then I guess you have your answer.
Yes, indeed. Prepare the plank. I'm just kidding. I just like saying it. Guards,
Right.
you can take off the shackles.
The gentlemen come forth and very quickly take the manacles off. And there's no, showing of, discomfort or relief from having them off. She's just stoic, arms at her sides. And Lila says, "Well, time is money. If and when we find my uncle, you all wish to be there, perhaps we can arrange a meeting. Perhaps our lines will converge once again."
Perhaps. Let us at least keep in touch.
Sure. Send me a message.
Facebook me.
I'm sure your wizard friend can cover that. Isn't that right, Captain Eli?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't do it often.
Oh, I'm sure you'll find a way. Already have some clue as to where to start looking. And with my dowsing rod here, my walking dowsing rod, perhaps it will take less time.
Lila, but one thing.
Yes.
In order to take her, you must call her Mara.
Moira.
Moira. Not Mara, Moira. Yes, that.
Moira. I can do that. I have no qualms with this one. I only need her skills. I apologize for calling her that word. She looks at you, Ari. I understand your familial bond with this one, regardless of the fact that she's clearly not drawing breath at the moment. Well, shall we away? Go get your shit. She sort of looks at you and winks in your direction, Laethana, as if to say, sorry about all this. Sorry I lied. 'Tis the nature of the things. We'll find him. Don't mind if we take one of his skiffs, do you?
You mean permanently?
No, just to get down there.
Oh yeah. How far? How far are we? I want to look at the view screen from the destination.
At this point it's been a few hours, and so the glow of dawn is beginning to show in the distance, and you can see right off of Lake Galifar the city of Delathorn. So you're very close. You'll be there soon.
Yes. You can use one of the skiffs.
Splendid. All right. Well, if there's nothing else. And you can see that Lila has already gathered what belongings she brought on board. And apparently a space burrito.
No, that's the weird anal pickle.
Okay. And Moira looks to you one last time, Auri. And she lays down one of her porcelain masks and lays it on the table in front of her and says, "If you're ever sad, wear this. It'll make you smile. And you'll know where I am. You'll be able to see where I am."
Thank you. Mother,
Yes.
thank you.
And I will put that in your inventory. Alright?
Yeah.
As she hands off the happy mask to you. While wearing this mask, you feel a wave of constant euphoria pass throughout your body. Don't use it for too long. You might become addicted to it.
I was gonna say, is it Lace's spice?
Oh, there's one other thing. Your father made this, and I think that you might find a use for it. And she pulls out this little palm-sized device covered in runes and places it into your hand. It's a skeleton key.
I thought you'd called him the B word.
Why do you think I don't want to carry it anymore? And she just sort of smiles at you and turns around and begins to walk away. And then she stops and then very quickly walks up to you, like with a cat's grace, and wraps her arms around you and gives you a hug.
I'm gonna hug her back, and my eyes are just like welling up with tears.
She smells of starflowers, but they smell as though the flowers are wilting or dying. There's a hint of decay to it, her. And when you allow her to let her go, she drifts away, hunting down Lila wherever she is on the ship now. She also left behind her a bottle, which she also slipped into your hands.
I am still only wearing my nightgown because I never went and changed. So I'm
So
just
you've
like,
got a
holding
hand.
the letter.
You got a handful of stuff. You got a handful of stuff. She
And
gave
I'm
you.
holding them in my arms, cradling them.
She gave you what looked like an empty bottle, but it felt like you could hear something sloshing inside of it, in addition to the skeleton key.
Surprisingly, Laethana is not drunk and she's mad at
And with that, what would you all like to do? You're all woken up now. Would you like to go back to bed and finish your rest? For those of you who are able to rest over 4 hours, you don't need to go back to sleep. I would say you've all been able to get your 4 hours of sleep to fully rest up. But I will mark you all as taking a long rest if you like. Now I will.
Well, is there anything that Ari and Laethana have to say to each other?
Are you guys gonna attack each other?
yes. No.
Knife fight.
Oh no!
I brought a bear to a knife fight.
Come on, like, this would just be an amazing thing. PvP, guys.
Yeah, I have an arena downstairs if you want, Loser
Well, I guess-
walks the plank.
I guess I should give you guys experience for the encounter. You each get 500 XP.
We should get some fucking experience points for all those who comprehended what the fuck was going on. That story, oh my god. I had my memories wiped, and then, like, I saved you as a child, and then, yes, I was married, and then, oh, I have children.
Like I said, Laethana Aisha has led a very complicated life.
My favorite part that unfortunately wasn't said out loud is as soon as she said that she was married, Eli started drinking.
So would you all like to pass some time?
Yes, we'll
Okay.
go to the city, let them off.
Did you want to just pass on through Greenheart, or did you guys have business in Greenheart as well?
Other than maybe looking for a cargo job, but
Yeah, they don't really have any cargo, unfortunately, to the Shadow Marches.
yeah, okay, we can just skiff it. All right, get off my ship.
But here, let me drop some gold in your character sheet, Eli.
Oh, thank you.
So you, those two, Volo agreed to pay for Moira's air passage, even though, that happened.
Oh, man, luckily it's not double, but,
Yeah, so you received, between the two, dropping off the trio of bards, dropping off Volo, you're able to get 3,700 gold from that. I've gone ahead and thrown it on your sheets.
Oh, okay, and no more passengers, I think,
No more passengers?
picking the cargo now.
Okay.
We have a cute mushroom guy, though.
He was cool. You guys let him off at Delathorn.
Oh, he's gone.
His name was Stumper.
I wanted to know him.
Yeah. Aw. Yeah, his name was Stumper.
You guys could have grabbed a drink together in that time.
How much gold was it?
3,700. I dropped it on your sheet for you.
Okay, I'm gonna do the math.
So you guys want to continue to pass time out of the Eldeen Reaches?
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone gets 83 gold for the last job. I got to do the calculations for these two jobs. So there you go, Ender. You get paid.
Give it to me now.
A few days pass.
83 gold, that's all, man.
I know, right? What the hell? A few days pass, and you all eventually, the New Horizon passes over the Biesh mountain range and into the sky over Droam. And the plains give way to this marshland that you can see in the distance that just rolls on off in the distance for what seems like forever. And you can see dotting the line that begins at the Grithic River and travels down, dividing Droam from the Shadow Marches. You can see what appear to be docking towers dotting the landscape off in the distance. The brilliant azure, blue air, not just a few wispy clouds here and there. And as you get closer, passing over Droam towards the Shadow Marches, Eli, your first mate summons you to the command deck, if you're not on the command deck already.
No, I'm in my bedroom sending
Okay.
messages to the princess.
And
yes, I'll be right there.
sir, we've received a message from someone.
Yes, I'm coming. And I'll head over.
And there is an audible sound now. It's very strange. A feature that you weren't aware that the New Horizon had, Eli. This audible sound now squawks out from the control panel there in the command deck. Foreign airship, you are approaching the realm of Shogun Zaduk Kontan. Please identify yourselves. As you have been getting closer to the border, you can see that the towers have these strange spires. These almost appear to be miniaturized versions of a Lorandar docking tower. They have the same design, but it seems to each one of these towers, which are spread out in the distance, you can see them in the distance along the border.
This is the New Horizon. Bringing important cargo to the Shadow Marshes.
There's a few beats, and you don't receive any message back. And then an audible message begins squawking out. And Eli, you are remembering now that this device is apparently, it's like an arcane messaging system that receives a message spell, and then translate and creates an audible version for you to hear or to read. And you hear that same mechanical tinny voice say, "Bring your vessel into customs so that your cargo may be verified and your decks searched for enemies of the Shogunate."
I'll send a message back. Will do. We'll be arriving shortly.
You received no response.
And I'll hail I'll hail Ender. Please come to the command deck at once. Hailing Ender.
Okay, Eli, I'm coming.
You hear the familiar voice of Captain Eli echoing out from the various Vox casters that are spread throughout the room, in each of the rooms, and also in the hallways of the vessel.
All right, then I walk up to one of the speakers and I yell back into it, "Coming!"
No response.
I'll wait for him standing there.
All right, I take my time. I
Tapping my foot.
I put on my robes, and then I put on my split mail. Nope, sorry, I'm not my split mail, but my
foot starts tapping
adamantine
harder.
plate armor. It takes me about 10 minutes, give or take. I then put on my sandals, but I do one toe at a time. Just place them right in there, nice and slow. And then I take my swords and I put them on my side. And then I I look in the mirror and I tell myself, gosh darn it, people like you. And I give myself a big orcish smile. And I think I believe myself this time. Yeah, people do like me. Yeah. And then I wash my hands and I count to 20. I sing a song that's 20 seconds long, probably some kind of bard song I heard in a tavern someplace. And then I walk out my door and I realize I actually don't remember how to get up to this is some kind of labyrinth. I take a right? Yes, I take a right and then I go to the stairs. Or should I take the lift? I think to myself, does the lift bring me up to the captain's quarters? I don't recall.
This is Eli to Ender. It's important.
Okay, I go up there.
Okay. So Ender eventually arrives on the deck. The New Horizon has just been sort of idling, getting closer, but very slowly to the tower. And Ender, you gaze upon your homeland for the first time in a very long time, and you feel confused.
I do.
Because these towers were not here when you were last in your homeland.
So I see a lot of like changes to my hometown, my home country.
And on the horizon, you see more strange sights. You see airships dotting the skyline.
I see a country on the brink of war. Just like I suspected it would be.
Ender. Eli's tapping his foot. It was important that you hurry up. We are going to customs. I need to know one thing. Are you an enemy of the state?
You ask me this now?
Yes, I do.
I don't think I am.
Because I gotta figure out where to hide you, if you are.
I look out for a moment at the wall of warships in the distance, and I ask my DM, "Hey DM, I'm not on any kind of list."
I don't know, are you?
No. Okay, good. I'm glad that I had this conversation with the one cosmic ruling. No, I'm not on any. I'm not a war criminal.
All right, good. Your friends will be boarding to check the cargo, and I wanted to make sure you weren't around if you had any, After today, I don't care what happened in your past. Okay, just don't do it anymore.
Nothing's happened to him. What are you? This is no Laethana Ari story here.
Hey, I'm just checking because after today, I don't know anybody anymore.
And I see your point. No, you have nothing to worry about.
All right, thank you. That is all.
And then, with foreboding for things to come, I'm gonna say, I'm not the one that you have to worry about. Bam, bam, bam. And then I get to end the session, because I get to this time, and it feels good.
Would you
Cue the music.
I can get you guys. Whoa, what is that? I just got a weird runtime error.
Because I'm telling you, man. Cue the music. I did it.
The heck is that? So anyway, I can get you guys to an ending spot here if you'd like.
I already did. I did the job for you.
And you did
Impressively, if I don't mind.
You did a remarkable job.
Thanks.
So,
alright, guys, that's a wrap. I clap my hands.
So the New Horizon arrives at the docking tower. Some very plain-looking individuals. Most of them appear to be human. Have somewhat gaunt features, wearing these royal blue uniforms with these little insignias that look like an upside-down teardrop with an eye in it. And after it takes about an hour, one of them approaches whoever is the person to speak to them in person, and says, "Very well, you're cleared for air travel to Zarashak. Your vessel has been cleared for docking platform 8. Please arrive before the end of the day, or your vessel will be considered hostile and may be claimed in the name of the Shogunate."
Roger that. Make haste.
And with that, the New Horizon casts off, crossing over the border, separating the nation of the Droam with the Shadow Marches. And as you cross over, ferrying across the border beyond these massive towers, these single docking platform towers, off in the distance, if you're on the command deck, Eli, you notice something.
Yes, I'm on the command deck.
Okay. Is Ender with you still, or has he wandered off?
That's up to Ender.
Ender is with Eli.
Okay. Off in the distance, Eli, Ender, it's all coming back to you now. You see what appears to be right over the village of Goldmire. You see an arc of fire, a streak like a comet, arcing out and hurtling down straight towards Goldmire. This blazing fireball heading straight towards the city.
Goldmire. Is this happening in real life, or am I just remembering something?
Oh no, this is happening right now.
Is Goldmire? I don't have the map in front of me, so I don't know if that's an important city. It's a city, and I'm sure all life is important, but I don't know if that city is a big city.
You remember that your family came from Goldmire.
Of course it is.
Some of your family.
I'm watching it explode before my eyes right now.
You're not an explosion. You're seeing what appears to be a streak of fire, like a comet, heading straight towards the village. But it seems like this streak of fire is very different to like what you would typically see as an astrological event. This seems to have purpose. It seems to be turning, as if it's being guided. And Eli, you're seeing the same thing. It looks to you as if somebody has cast a fireball spell, maybe? Or some sort of fire spell. But it seems to be moving on it and changing directions.
Well, it has my attention. I'm watching it, and I guess there's going to be just a little bit of fear in my eyes. a little bit of sadness.
Well, I'm glad we're docking over here.
Well, you guys have already you've already left the dock. You've crossed the border. Now you're flying over towards the southwest, towards Zarashak. Goldmire would be to, looking to your right, if you will, pointing as your ship is pointed straight towards Zarashak.
I don't understand. Is this whole country at war with its?
I have no idea.
And your first mate now, Elroy, comes and says, should be worried about that.
Yes.
Something,
Make sure
we need to look into?
I'd make sure we stay clear of that. Have the crew prepare for alerts, but don't activate the guns quite yet.
Okay.
Just in a safety, stance. Just prepared. Be prepared for anything.
Okay. So
And
you're
we'll
all
head straight.
continuing on to Zarashak.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless Ender, you want to turn?
Continue. Captain.
Okay. All right. I feel better now. We're continuing onward.
Okay. After this, a brief moment caught both your attention. You direct the crew on the command deck to continue the New Horizon southwest over the marshlands, past the deep wood, towards the city of Stilts, the city of smells, Zarashak.
That it be.
And that's where we're going to end.
Zarashak. The city of stilts, the city of smells.
Fantasy Grounds is totally rebelling tonight, guys.
Ah! They want Laethana to win, I guess, or to live.
They want her to live.
Fantasy Grounds is like, no, you better not.
It's a mutiny.